never to do when you're going through a divorce. Divorce is one of the most painful things in relationship, especially when you have yourself to date, your friendship days, and you have to date your partner to get into marriage. And of course, you watch yourself prepare for this marriage, prepare for your home, preparing yourself. Nobody goes into marriage with the intention of divorce. I don't know how this sounds, but I don't think anybody goes or walks into a marriage, especially for a Christian marriage, sincerely. Nobody will plan to go into marriage and of course have yourself going through a divorce after some few years, or maybe having children come into the marriage, and of course suddenly you watch your marriage going so slowly. And of course, like I said, I don't think anybody will want to have that this happen to them in relationships. And of course, when times like this happen, it's one of the most painful parts of life. Like I used to say, it is better you have a broken relationship or dating, I mean courtship, whatever you call it. It is better you have a broken relationship than having a marriage that you have taken your time to build with all hopes and aspirations, plans and everything, family in support, friends in support, and you're like, in this part of your life, you conclusively you're feeling you're done with this, you're in marriage, you're with your partner, and of course the next thing is to see yourself start building together with your partner. Like I said, marriage is one of the things that is very painful. If it happens to you and you're going through it, it's one of the most painful things that will happen to you as a woman or as a young man. This is really hurting. And of course, periods like this, it's one of the times, like I keep saying, is one of the times that are really painful in the lives of people. And of course, I have few things here never to do while going through a divorce, and I'm going to back it up with some scriptures, just few, maybe one or two scriptures. And I'm going to be reading from the book of Malachi chapter 2. Of course, Malachi chapter 2 verse 16 warns against hatred and of course violence in divorce, while Hebrews chapter 12 verse 15 highlights the dangers of bitterness and unforgiveness. Seeking revenge is not aligned with the things or the mind of Christ. I am just going to go through it briefly for the purpose of this video. Somebody actually sent like a message this morning and asking what happens or what should people be doing during their time of divorce. Sometimes I tell people, especially when it's just looking like it's happening, there's still hope for you. You don't go out there to make noise, to start screaming, start creating unnecessary tension between between people, friends, and of course going ahead to call friends from far and near and making it sound like this thing is too big. See, sometimes the devil pours out some sands into your relationship, like come to shake your relationship, shake you to know how matured you are, especially as a Christian, a young Christian in marriage, especially when you have not gone through thorough counseling. Maybe from the family background, you have not been told of what to see, what to expect. Your parents have not told you, or they have not shared their experiences with you. So if you have not gone through this, maybe parents or your sisters, you have not had that opportunity of people sharing with you of what divorce looks like and what to expect. And especially when you're walking into marriage, maybe a few years later you see some signs, there might not be conclusively a sign of total divorce. Yes, sometimes you have things like that, and of course you have times where you have things happen and it might take you 1 year, 6 months, 7 months. It depends on you and it depends on God's programs and plans for you. So when you're seeing some signs that looks like a divorce, it is not time to run from pillar to pole. It is not time to start throwing insult on people, on in-laws, on your partner. One of the biggest thing, one of the most hurting thing you should not do is to start throwing insult at your partner. It's you allowing yourself to start saying things that ordinarily, if these things you're allowed or you're asked, an opportunity come, maybe your marriage is coming back, like I just mentioned. See, some of these things that come into our marriages, they come into, see, we all have these times, especially if you have been married up to 10 years. those early days in marriage, if you can actually conquer your first years, your first 5 years in marriage, and of course you're able to pull through your first 10 years in marriage, then you can actually keep your marriage, because you would have experienced most of the things that causes marriage, most of the things that pose as difficulties, that pose as problems, that pose like you don't understand your partner. Your first 5 years to your first 10 years, if you're able to win those things, you can actually keep your marriage, and of course you make it, you discover that your marriage will be stronger. So don't go ahead to insult your partner. Don't say things that your partner never did. Learn to say the truth. Learn to say it the way it is. And of course, if I'm allowed to advise people, like the few people I counsel about divorce, I tell people, see, it is not time for you to explain, because the same people you're explaining to, they may have known your partner even before you. Maybe your partner actually, they knew you through your partner. So whatever you're calling them to explain, for the ones that are wise, they will not conclusively conclude that your partner is that bad. They might see you as you running out to start painting your partner black. Do not send too many text messages. Do not explain too much. I tell you the truth. Do not say things that looks like you're right and your partner is wrong. Times when you're going through a divorce, or it looks like it's a divorce, there are times when you go back to pray. There are times when you go back to check yourself. There are times when you actually go back to look at the whole thing. Where have you played well? Where have you not played well? Where can you come in to support your partner? Where can both of you, if you see me watching my something down, I'm actually having my notes on my phone here. So it is your time of your early days of going through that which looks like a divorce. There are those times you call yourself back. Sit quietly, seek advice, seek counsel from professionals like me that is speaking to you. Yes, I am a professional. Yes, I can tell you this, because I have counseled a lot of people. I have had a lot of things that are causing marriages to go into divorce today. I have had more of these things. But the times when I had these things, like I used to tell you, if you're not privileged to hear from your mother to tell you about divorce, signs of divorce and things that causes divorce, those signs that comes, they are not coming to actually cause your marriage. It is when you allow it, you did not go back to your closet to pray. This is when you have your marriage break down. And of course, you see both of you separate. When you see things or signs coming in, it is time for you, especially as a woman, go back to your closet, because we are always fast in talking. Stop calling people. It is not time for you to call anyone, because you're trying to paint your partner black. It might cause more harm to your marriage, because the people you are talking to, I can tell you 100%, because they are going to call your partner and they will explain to your partner. Some of these people you run to, they don't even like you. Maybe they have people a better option for your partner because they feel you're not a better option. I can tell you this for free. So stop, do not run around to people to help you. Go back to your closet, seek counsel, seek advice from professionals who can teach you. If you're a church girl like me, go back to the altar and ask God where you went wrong and what is going on. What are you supposed to learn? Why are you supposed to be your partner's supporter? Where are you supposed to do it better? So when you're going through a divorce, it is not time for you to run around to start throwing words, to start throwing insults at your in-laws, to start throwing insults at friends, to start getting phone numbers from here and there, phone numbers that you're not giving, things you're not privileged to be given by your partner, especially when it is your partner's friends. Your partner's friends, you go ahead to look for, in any which way you get their phone numbers, and you start wasting your partner. When you are going through something that looks like a divorce, do not do these things, because whoever you call at that moment, they are eager and they are curious. They want to know what happened. And when you start explaining, especially at that point where you're still boiling in anger, trust me, you will not say everything the way it happened. You will want to paint your partner black to make these people believe your partner is actually the one that is wrong. If you have the mind to go back to that marriage or not, do not paint your partner black. Say it the way it is. Or if you allow me, I normally advise people, those periods are not times where you go to explain. The people you're explaining, see, some of these people would have I can tell you, see, some of these people will be the right people to even fall back to you and ask you for a relationship if you go quietly and settle it quietly. But when you begin to explain to these people, they begin to count on you that you are actually the problem in that marriage. When you begin to count to your husband's or your wife's partner, your wife's friends or your husband's friends, people that they knew, the people that they knew before they even met you, or you knew them through your husband or through your wife. If you go, this video is actually for both male and female. If you're going through a divorce, some few things, I actually wanted to give you some points on what you should not do, but of course I will give you, for the purpose of this video, I never wanted it to be this long, but everything I'm saying, take it and take it from me. It is not time for you to run around and get phone numbers. Do not go to Facebook to get phone numbers. Do not go to YouTube to seek for who knows who to get phone numbers from a third partner, because you keep explaining. Don't even run to people's pastors. You know, anything you say to these people, it still goes back to the person, because they knew this person before you. And when you begin to explain, they check your messages, they check everything on record, and of course they know that you are actually the problem. And trust me, any message you send to people at that point, because they want to hear from the people that are right, people that are really that cares for the relationship. They want to know, people want to know what happened, and they will ask your partner. And of course, like I tell you, most of them will forward the same messages you are forwarding to A, B, C, D to E. Those messages are forwarded to your partner, and you like it or not, these people might be sounding like they are with you. They are no longer with you, because they will count it that you are actually the problem in your relationship. So when you're going through a divorce, do not go to get phone numbers. Do not throw insults at your partner. That is the only thing I am speaking on. But in our next video, I think I should be able to give you some things that you should not do when you're going through a divorce. Do not insult your partner. Do not begin to say wrong things about your partner. Do not begin to explain things that never happened. Don't begin to present yourself as the best person, because in any fight, there is a contribution from each partner. You have said something. If you say something, maybe what you say is causing the fight. And if you refuse to say something, maybe because the other person is feeling hot, you never said anything, and of course he's hot, and maybe the person decides to pick a fight on you, you have done something. You can't just say you have not done something when there is a fight in a relationship. You either say something which triggers the fight, or you never say something and this person just got pissed off and of course decided to throw a fight at you. So something must have happened. Why the fight? So do not run around to explain to people on what happened and how wicked your partner was, how good you were, how faithful you were, and what and what and what. It is one of the most wrong things for anybody to do, especially when it looks like you're going through a divorce. Like I used to say, sometimes things happen to us in marriage. I am 15 years in marriage as I speak. This is 2025, right? I am 15 years in marriage. A lot of things that are throwing young men and young women out of marriages. My husband and I, we had those things. But of course, both of us as Christians, as young people, we both went our ways within the same house. We still talk. We were not enemies. I went my part. And of course, at my closest, I asked myself, where have I not done wrong? And he too does it. And those periods, we make sure we don't stay apart. Especially from me, the period where my husband and I were having some fracas, I make sure we don't stay apart, because I have taken advice from the right person. My mother has always been someone who has always advised me. Remember, I have done videos here. If you have not watched, I'm still going to do videos on how my grandmother looks at me. My mom's mother looks at me and say, you have watched my marriage. You have watched how I got married to my first, my second, my third husband. Please make sure you make marriage work. So you're going to be learning. If your parent tells you, whatever they tells you, you should learn from whatever your parent tells you in their marriage. God bless you. And of course, make me see you in my next video from here. My name is Ann Moses. And just know I love you. And I'm here to help you. And so that I see that your relationship works. God bless you. From here is love.